Hello, and welcome to another of my vlogs. I'm up again in Lowick for a week's holiday and thought I'd take you for a ride today. I left Lowick and it was nice and dry with light clouds. And look at this, we've only travelled about 10 kilometres and we're near the coast and it's already drizzling. I might have to put my waterproof on next. The temperature today is around about 10 degrees, so I've got longs on, as it's only forecast to come up to 13 or 14 degrees throughout the whole of the day. The wind is from the north today at between 8 and 16 kilometres an hour. I thought we'd go for a run down the coast today and then come back through the country. I come out from Lowick to Fenwick and then taking the back road over towards Belford. We're now going to cross the A1, which is the noise you can hear in the background, and make our way down to the coast. Now we're dropping down to the A1, which we'll cross and go on to more quieter roads. The A1 wasn't too bad at this time of the morning, but now we've got quiet roads down until we meet the sea. I'd hoped to give you some good views of the coastline when I was travelling along this way, but as you'll see from the camera lens, it's raining quite heavy at the moment. This is Budo Bay. Budo Bay is part of the Lindisfarne Nature Reserve, and when the tide goes out it leaves an extensive mudflat here, home to wildfowl and waders, and specifically the purple sandpiper, the bar-tailed godwit and Brent geese can be found here. A few kilometres further south along the coast we come to the village of Bamburgh. Famed for its castle, it's also home to the grave of Grace Darling and a museum to her feat of courage. The RLNI Museum to Grace Darling is situated just across the road from the graveyard of St Aidan's Church, where she is buried. This is Grace Darling's grave to commemorate her and her feat in 1838 of saving the survivors from the SS Forfarshire. Bamburgh Castle dominates the village, as you can see ahead. Bamburgh Castle was once the seat of the kings of Northumberland and has stood on its rocky plateau for over 1400 years. It was transformed by William George Armstrong into today's version and has been in his family's possession for approximately 300 years. I'm continuing down the coast road and you'll probably be able to see that the waterproof jacket is on. The North Sea's off to our left behind these sand dunes. Hopefully we'll get a view of it somewhere down the coast. Sea's off to our left here, and it's a bit choppy today, even though there's not much wind. Another few kilometres down the coast we come to sea houses. This is where you can take a boat out to the Farne Isles, where you can see on the rocks kittiwakes and puffins, and in the sea you might be lucky enough to see some seals. Here's a view of the harbour at Sea Houses and a couple of the boats that you can take a trip on out to the Farne Islands. We're back on the main coastal road. I hope you can see the sea breaking over the rocks ahead. We're carrying on down the coast road just past the edge of Bidnell village. We'll turn left here and go on the quieter coastal road heading back out to the coast. I should have said a little bit more about this ride earlier on. It's just over 100 kilometres today. With approximately 50 kilometres going out to and down the coast. The remainder being through the countryside. I thought it'd be nice to have a look at two different types of landscape today. Nice little stone built houses in the hamlet here. There's a number of castles down the coast of Northumberland, and we're running down what's known as the castle route now. We won't see many of them because of the route I've picked today, but they do form part of the Coast and Castles route that runs up from Newcastle all the way to Edinburgh. I'm on the outskirts of Embleton now, and the views out to sea are getting somewhat better now that the rain is cleared through. You can just maybe see a ship out on the horizon, and off to the right here is the ruin of one of the castles I mentioned. I thought it might be worth just coming off the main road for a little while to have a look at the village of Embleton, but also to just take a run off to the left towards the coast and maybe have a better look at that ruin. Behind me you can see the ruin of Dunstanburgh Castle, which dates from 1313. It was built by Earl Thomas of Lancaster when his relationship with Edward II became hostile. It was the focus of fierce fighting during the War of the Roses and was twice captured by the Yorkists. As you can see, it's been left to fall into ruin. On the way back up to Embleton, we're facing into the wind, coming from the north and off the sea, and by golly it's cold. Back on the road again, still on the minor roads doing the castle route and making our way to Dunstan. I'm trying to hug the coast as much as I can, so we turn left off the castle route. One thing I've definitely noticed around here is the number of caravan sites. One here just off to the right. Well, with Northumberland being so beautiful, I don't suppose you can blame them from wanting to come and stay here. Riding through Dunstan now. Nice little village. Look at that pub on the left. It's a beautiful view of the sea here. And we've even got some sea anglers down there. Still quite grey though. Would be nice with a bit of sun. And just there to the left you can see an outcrop of the windsill that I've mentioned on a previous vlog. We've effectively finished our run down the coast now, and we'll be turning inland here. The Coast and Castle cycle route continues down the road to the right here, but I've just stopped here to have a last look at the sea before turning inland and maybe seeing some hills. Now we're inland, there's some rolling hills, but we're generally going southwest, so still have the wind behind us a little bit to help on the uphills. We're just entering along Houghton, a village that we would have come to if we had continued on the Coast and Castles cycle route. The thing that stopped me using that route was the fact that I would have had to walk 2 kilometres along the beach. Our turn inland starts in earnest. Straight into the west now. So that was a bit of a climb up there, and now we're just going down the other side, aiming to get towards the A1 and get across it again. Just leaving the village of Denwick now, and we're about to cross the A1. Now we're making for the village of Eglingham, about 10 kilometres away, and we're back out into rural roads again, but unfortunately facing the wind. And now we've got to the top of the next climb, which was about 3 kilometres at an average of about 5%. We can look back and we can see the town of Alnwick. That's just started now into the hills on the country route. I don't know how many more there is, because when I put a route together I don't look at the contours. We'll just see how they are as we go. Hopefully not as long or as steep as the one we've just come up. I think I might have spoken a bit too soon about being up at the top of the hills. Still going upwards. Spreading manure. What a stink. And now we've come back inland. The rain started again, you can probably see it in front. Looks like it's going to be heavy in a little while. Lovely. Few kilometres travelled and no effort. Look at the moors ahead. It's a glorious view. Even in this drizzly weather, they've just got a beauty to them. And we've just reached the village of Ellingham. Beautiful village. Lovely. Oh, we're at the top of the hill out of Eglingham. Approximately 70 kilometres complete. From the north it's looking a bit bright again, but where we're going looks to be wet. So I'll keep the jacket on at the moment and take the benefit of this run downhill. Look at this view across the valley. Nice view of the hills, and to the right the Cheviots disappearing into the mist. Just because it's a bit rainy and drizzly, you can't let that spoil your day. It's not bad really. Quite warm in this light waterproof, but look what we get as a reward. Look at that view. Straight across there, across the valley, hills in the distance, although maybe the GoPro won't pick it up as well as I can see it. Just absolutely fantastic. There's lots of pheasants in this field. They've been running, scampering around. You'll see two of them sitting there on the logs. One of the things that I love about cycling up here in the borders, the scenery is stunning. Although it would have been even better if the sun had been out. So that was the view that I had while I was standing in this gateway, having some lunch. Sunday lunch, a couple of rhubarb and ginger jam sandwiches. Absolutely lovely. I think I stopped at the right time for my lunch. It's just starting to drizzle again. Oh well. It can be fun riding in the drizzle or the rain, as long as you don't have a really strong wind into your face. We came in from the left here on the previous vlog and turned uphill as we are today, going towards Chillingham Castle. Oh, look at those colours ahead. The greens, the oranges from the harvested stubble. And then as we round this next corner, up at the top, the browns from the fields that have been ploughed and reseeded. Gillingham Castles here on the right, but instead of going straight on as we did in my last vlog, I'm going to turn left here today for a change. And we'll make our way to Chatham via a different route. Wow, another downhill. Getting some benefit for all the climbing we did. Oh look, Mr. Squirrel in front. Oh, look at the view across there now. Now it's getting lighter. You can see the hills better. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Still some dark clouds around though. Looking around, only half the harvest has been brought in up here. Still some fields of wheat waiting to be harvested. Now it's rained, they'll need a couple of days at least before they can bring it in. We're now arriving in the village of Chatham, just at the west end of it. And now we're turning left and making our way towards Wooler for a little while, but not actually going to Wooler today. If we continued along this road, we'd come to the top of Wheatworth Bank, where we could descend that and make our way into Wooler. But today, I'm not going that way. I'm going to turn right at this junction and we'll make our way down to Foulbury Tower. This is Foulbury Tower. It's a 16th century tower house which incorporates the remains of an original pellet tower. It's been owned by the Foulbury family for over 400 years. This is an old pack horse bridge over the beck and have a weight limit of 3 tons on it. It's also quite narrow. And here we go to cross the pack horse bridge. As you can see, narrowish at the middle. And I wonder if that's the River Till down below. At the crossroads here, going straight on will take you up Lynham Bank, which I've done a couple of times in vlogs. The last time was when I was here earlier this year, and I came up from the right here and turned up Lynham Bank. But today we're turning left and we're going to make our way up the valley and then join the Roman road into Lowick. There's someone just round the corner here that I think you might be interested to meet. Here's a statue to St Cuthbert. I think this is part of St Cuthbert's Way, a walk that takes you from Melrose, where he was born, to Lindisfarne, or the Holy Island, where he was abbot. We continue to gently climb. Boy, it's surprising how long some of these gentle climbs can be. I was just coming round the corner and look what I see. A wildflower meadow. Admittedly, it's gone over a bit and it's not at its best, but imagine what that would be like in the middle of summer. And another field here. It's full of sunflowers, thistles, and I'm not sure what the rest of the Wildflowers, huh? Maybe this is part of the new stewardship that the farmers have to have in order to obtain their money for environmental improvements. You might be able to see the buzzard sat on top of the telegraph pole. There she goes. And now we turn right on the Roman road, the one called the Devil's Causeway. That leads up to Lowick. I've only got another 3 kilometres to go and I'll be back in the village of Lowick. I'll let you have a quick look at the cheviots in the background behind me. Some of them are still in the mist, but more are appearing as time goes on. I hope you've enjoyed coming along for the ride today. I know the views weren't brilliant, but I still enjoyed them. I thought they were beautiful even in the dull and damp conditions. Please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to know of any more of my vlogs. Until we meet again, bye for now, stay safe and enjoy your cycling. I'll leave you with the view towards the sea from the hill adjacent to Lowick.